Okay, I know a lot of my friends and some people have been following me through what little I do share on social media. I just noticed I've got black trash bags. Those are full balloons for Rory, for my grandbaby. Anyway, um, yeah, we're gonna dump balloons around him later. It'll be funny. Anyway, it'll be cute. So yeah, you gotta have fun on snow days, right? It's a beautiful snow day. Y'all, that comes out. Southern comes out. What am I gonna do? But seriously, you guys have watched me struggle through house fire, losing my animals, which was the hardest out of all of it. I would say being displaced and the abuse. Hey, buddy, my cute cat. You want to come up here, Mama? Okay. Yeah. So normally one would say being displaced and homeless would have been the hardest part, but for me, it was fucking hard. I go lie. I've always held losing my animals, the 4 cats and baby bird, the biggest tragedy. And I don't know if I'll ever know or be able to prove who was responsible for the fire. But they did almost take my animals. I mean, they did take my animals. Lives were lost. That mattered. If you don't view an animal as a life that matters, then that's on you. I can't pick on how y'all view your pets, as I've got my 2 cats sitting here. The one that survived, and Brother Socks, who I've yet to tell you the story about, which is a really cool story. I guess I want to say, as you guys have watched me struggle, and I've not posted the whole story because I've really not had an opportunity to sit down and breathe and be like, okay, this is what has happened. Let me take this in. Let me sleep. Let me absorb this, because I went from one place to another for months in survival mode, being put through things even in the journey that no one should really ever have to experience. Would I take any of it back? No. It's grown me so much to the person I wanted to be, the person I asked to be. Sometimes you have to ask the universe or God to take away anything that might be standing in your way of your dreams. Now, I'm not saying that's the case 100% here. There's a lot of factors, good and bad. But did I pray over my life? And a prayer is nothing more than an incantation. Words matter. It doesn't really matter what you want to call prayer, God, this, that. You just need to know the power of words. You just need to know that. Power of life and death is in the tongue. I don't know that a statement gets more fucking simple than that. I believe when you pray, you're praying to, an energy, a collective, that you're putting what you want into the energy field that is God. I mean, you can call it what you want. I don't view anything that I say God as a man in the sky. Just let's be clear in Miranda Booker language, because I've started using God interchangeable instead of energy. It's not my fault if you don't know what God is. I'll be glad to tell you my perspective, and you can take it or you can leave it. It's not my responsibility to make you see that. But I did. I, many, many years ago, prayed that anything and everything that was holding me back from following my dreams or my life purpose would be removed. Well, watch what you hope. Watch what you pray for. I think I was even watching Joyce Meyer at the time on TV, and it was a prayer that she said, and she pre-warned you when you prayed this. It was funny. She said, don't you do this if you're not prepared. If you're not prepared for what you're about to walk through, because change does not always look like I won the lottery. Okay, snap with his finger. Carpal tunnel's coming in. Serving all these years. Okay, I had to try to get it. Anyway, so I did do that, and that was so many years before any of the abuse got extreme. Not saying it wasn't there in the home or in my life. And then so many other things. Just so many other things happened between that period, and it was a long time ago that I prayed that. And it's been a long road. This past year, though, I think was the final ripping of that Band-Aid. I've had to, not only in this dynamic, I've had to not only shed of ways of thinking, ways of being, I've had to let friends go that, not because they're bad or anything, it's just because where they are is not conducive to where I'm going. And I'm not going to drag somebody by the hair of their head along with my belief systems. I also think that sometimes friendships have to evolve with each other, or they, and if they don't, you just kind of have to leave things where they are. So that's not all about friendships either. That's just one of 10 million little tiny things from losing every attachment that I have. I'm someone who has a lot of attachment due to my traumas and things of my past, and I am very attached to my belongings, more so than I should be. I think we all are before we want to admit it. For the longest time, and I still believe it's okay for me to like what I like and want what I want. For the longest time in this journey, I just couldn't understand how not nary family member or friend one could help me get my belongings out of my burn up house. They didn't, not once. I had one person that helped me, and that person ended up trying to destroy me in other capacities later. Beyond that, I had no help. None. So anything you see around me, be it a lamp, a picture, or this or that, I carried that out of that house. Every tiny thing I own, I carried out of that soot-filled house and cleaned with my bare hands for this past year. Not my mother. Not my father. Not my 10,000 cousins. Or aunts and uncles. Did anybody call and say, hey, we're glad you're alive? No. Nope. I've received no messages from family since my house burned down. I've received a couple of fuck yous from my aunt. You go ask why that is. There's a whole backstory to that of why I am the black sheep of the family, but the reality of it is I've not done a damn thing to any of these people. I've been talked about sorely. I've been put down. I've been judged. I've been cast out of my own family. I am the eldest, so of course, out of all the cousins, I've had to pave a few ways for some of them. And I will say time and again, you're welcome. Enjoy your nose ring. But I guess my point is just You have to go through hard journeys sometimes. And if you're going through a moment like I was, where you just didn't know if you could hang on for one more second, you've got it in you. I promise, you've got it in you. You've got it in you. Just do what you have to do. Survive. Sometimes that's all we can do, is survive. There are moments in this journey that it's just literally been a matter of survival. And when I say that, I mean both mentally and physically. Not just monetarily. Oh God, monetarily has been a complete nightmare. I wasn't prepared for a house fire. Who is? Certainly not. People in certain tax brackets, that's for fucking sure. I mean, we want to be reality, and then of course you want to say, oh, well, if you didn't save money, boy, you must be a bad person there too. No, it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. If you're living in a utopian world where everybody has a savings, you might want to start in school and teach people how to get there first and why the importance, and stress that starting in, I don't know, you might want to start that stressing of that in a 5th grade or some kind of shit. Is the world equal for everybody? No, it's not. We live by very unreal truths that we like to tell ourselves. That everyone should have a savings. Everyone can have a savings. You know, or be prepared for this or do that. And if you don't, you did something wrong. You're not taking accountability for what you didn't do. There are circumstances that simply have not permitted me to be that kind of person. Are there moments throughout my childhood that if I'd turned right or turned left and made this choice or made that choice, things would be different? Of course. People don't like me to dwell on the bad shit that happened to me, but they want me to dwell on that. It's so funny. It's the irony of what others think you should be upset about all the time. Don't talk about your past. Don't talk about any bad thing that happened to you, because that means you're living there. My question also is, well, if you're not talking about any bad thing that happened to you, does it really mean that you're living there, or does that mean you've suppressed that shit and it's following you around in your daily life? Who's right, who's wrong? Because I talk about the things that's happened to me doesn't mean I'm sitting here and living in it. It's an expression. Do not keep it down. Not feel as suppressed as people have made me. And to reach out for those who that it might touch. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If my story doesn't resonate, if you don't like what I'm saying, you don't have to listen. That's the joy. That's the greatest thing about it. You know, and that's also been a privilege that I've actually been forced under. Like, it is not in my nature to not know what's going on 100% with the news. Social media, even though I am very guarded with social media, people will know. So if I don't see your randomized post, if you're ever trying to henpeck Miranda on social, you're just henpecking a stranger that is not seeing your shit, because I literally keep my algorithm so fucking protected. Yeah, I go on social media to post for others and to support friends and artists and my community. Be it restaurant, other individual salespeople, musicians, obviously, are near and dear to my heart, as we all know. Always have been. It's always been a part of my life. And I guess this is such a long journey. I can't sum this up, and I'm going on a 14-minute rant on so many different things. I'll have to re-listen to this. Thank God for CapCut or something, right? I'm going to have to edit some videos, or I'll post them as they are. I don't really know. It's more of a vlog, I guess, journal, for me, for you, documentation. I don't really know what I'm doing with any of my videos, to be honest. I just want people to know, in the depths of your despair, hang on. hang on. Hang on. Hang the fuck on. You will be okay. Almost a year ago, not a year ago, 8 months ago, because my grandson's 9. It happened a month after my grandson was born. I was displaced, and today, I find myself finally with my bed put together, a living room to sit in, able to finally hang some pictures on a wall. Have some flowers around me, fake or not. That's a joke for anybody that might come across that knows who they are. Right? Talk about purging, guys. Bet y'all love this one. No, I do have some friends that was really trying to help me purge when I had cancer and help me get rid of things and my attachments. So I know they're eating this shit up if they're ever getting to see how much I've lost, and because they know how hard it's been on me, and so they can find the hilariousness in the background, I'm sure. And one day I'll hopefully get to talk to them about what they experiencing that, because there's a few people that knew and could see that where I couldn't see the forest for the trees at the moment. Sometimes you really just can't see the mess you're in until energy, God, whatever you want to call it, takes you out of it. And sometimes to build, you have to have what they call tower moments, obviously. And it's destruction and rebirth. That's all it is. It's Shakti and Shiva. That's what we do, what we're here to do. Destroy, rebuild, destroy, rebuild, destroy, rebuild. Take what needs to be and evolve it. Alchemize it is the best word. Don't let all these things that should take you down, even in the midst of thinking you want to die, which is not the same as actually going to commit suicide, wanting to die. Feeling like you're going to die, not wanting to wake up. These things are not suicide, okay? These are things are just stuff that when people go through really bad things, it's just a brief thought. But I was there. I didn't want to live anymore, but God knows I wasn't taking my life. I didn't see where I was going to end up, and I didn't have the means, but by George, I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and I never stopped. I never gave up. The universe kept putting me in situations to where I wasn't safe, but I didn't stay regardless. No matter how homeless it would have made me, no matter how broke it made me, I can say right here, right now, I did not sacrifice myself to be around people that continue to want to hurt me. And the hardest thing I did was walk away from so many of them and do this homeless fire journey alone. Well, in an abusive relationship, so maybe not 100% alone. I had a little bit of extra lessons attached to that. And I'm not angry at that either. I hold anger, and I will post videos of where I was angry, but the reality of it is that horrible experience brought me to a place to where I had to love myself so hard that I had to find Miranda again. Somewhere along the way, I know I kind of had lost myself. And my love for myself, my confidence, me. I've never been insecure about who I am really to that degree in my life. People had taken, from the time of COVID on, Maybe even started a little bit before that, but they took advantage of my downfall after COVID. COVID put me in a position to have lost my job like many of you. I had a hard time regaining and getting back to where I was after COVID. Like many of you. And it set me on a whole different path. I also know after COVID, it's just like, I also realized I wasn't as valued as I should have been, and in my workplace. Because I'm here to tell you right now, you can find a lot of minions, but nobody is replaceable. You can replace people with another body. No one can ever be me. Not in the workplace, not in the home, not in the bed, not even with red lipstick. That's a joke. You know, you want to play voodoo and witchcraft, I'll just throw that out there too. You can't be me. You can never be me. I am so authentic, and so are you. Never, ever, 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 ever in a job or a home or relationship let someone tell you that you're replaceable, and don't you ever think that. Yeah. I was told that once just so I wouldn't get my high horse. And in that circumstance, the role's been replaced, but I never have been yet. You won't find another me. So whatever qualities I brought were authentically mine and unappreciated. So there's a little lesson out there, be it your parents, your significant other, bosses and coworkers. Don't think the person standing beside you is irreplaceable. Don't be so arrogant because someone can fill a shoe that they can fill it as well. Because I know 2 shoes that's never been filled. And that stuck with me. Just to be clear, for anybody that doesn't ever think that Miranda doesn't listen, I take in everything people say. And I think being an empath and being someone who observes so and analyzes so much is a blessing and a curse, because I can see those things. But yeah, I'm just here to say, I don't care how much, if the whole fucking world turns on you. And for me, when my house burnt down, it did. You would have thought at first that I set the house on fire. Yep, that was me. I just lit a match, woke up at 4 a.m. screaming out for my animals. On what planet? Not with everything that I own and every ounce of security in that home. You know, my grandma often talks about, don't get nothing I want for nothing. And I told her what, I used to tell her, and I still want to say, in that home, I had everything I could possibly need. I wanted for nothing. And I lost everything. Can you imagine that? I know younger people maybe not, but think of a whole lifetime of stuff. 43 years. I had everything from saving my daughter's Cabbage Patch dolls to sentimental to needs to, apocalypse happens. Let's go to my basement. Oh, no, wait. It burnt down. So anything I've saved there, gone. Not that. An apocalypse was an extreme. So just don't take everything I say completely literal. Because that's annoying too. Learn metaphor. Learn exaggeration. It won't hurt you. Nobody speaks in specifics. Unless you're a scientist or something. Scientists speak in very specifics, I've learned. which is a great thing. I absolutely love it. One of my really good friends is a scientist, so it makes for extremely interesting conversations. I mean, long ones too, especially with me. Can you possibly imagine someone analytical like that? And me completely emotion based makes for the best time ever. This is the first time I can sit here and say, yes, things are still a little bit tight, a little bit crunchy. I'm still getting my bearings. I'm excited about recouping things now. Everything has been stagnant on hold, from my speeches to my basket business to other things I have in the works that I was planning on putting out there as an individual, all the way down to some of my sugar-free products that I'm so excited to be in this place and just finally get to work on. Money's always an object in getting those things done, but it will appear and I will make it happen. I always do. Where there is a will, there is a fucking way. And I have heard people speak often the faith of a mustard seed. You just, until you're there, I don't think you really know what that is. But man, it's minuscule. A mustard seed, I don't know if you could, it's tiny, tiny, tiny. And that's the point. It's tiny. I don't even have anything right here just to say, hey, this is minuscule. But if you can just hold on that's what that means. Just have that tiny, tiny bit of faith of a mustard seed. It is just another metaphor. I don't care if it comes from your Bible or what other literature. I'll quote everything. Not just one religious text or one philosophy or one anything. I am definitely not. I'm an omniist. I believe there are truths in all religions. But just as I also believe there are lies in all religions, because I do believe in duality. Anyhow, that's another subject. But the faith of a mustard seed, I still have to say. I'm just going to go back. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for complete and utter blind faith. Blind faith. I had nothing to hold on to. The people I depended on were no more. I had nothing. No, my job had been gone. I was on medical leave when this happened. I am legally disabled. So when I say medical leave, I didn't just go, oh, I can't work this month. No, shit happened, and I was on actual medical leave. Part of it being the death of a lot of loved ones while having to go through 2 cancer surgeries. So when I say medical leave, it wasn't even for my own personal just illness that I'm actually legally disabled for. It was for other things, cancer, and the amount of death that came in a extreme succession before the death of my animals in my home. And notice how I put that, the death of my home. Death and rebirth. There were so many things that I was holding on there that would have just continued to hold me back. When you want to go somewhere, and I'm not someone who packs lightly. The hardest lesson for me is to learn what's important to take with you, to learn what you can live without, and to pack lightly. The other I want to end with, on the other opposite of the spectrum regarding this, is it's okay to want your belongings. If other people don't want to help you, if other people don't think you should have clothes on your back for whatever fucked up mindset they have, if other people don't want to help you come get your bed out of your home, out of the kindness of our heart, like, love thy neighbor. I look around, and the only thing I got was a lowball offer on my house from one of mine, because they thought I was stupid. Let me get that off my forehead. I've never been more insulted. I got offered something that the land is not. The land is worth more than the joke that was presented on me. It's like they said, oh, she must be deaf, dumb, stupid, and female. Didn't expect me to say, okay, you do realize that you're offering me this for my lifelong inheritance. The land's more than that. And since you think you're talking to a young'un, I'll be running this by my father. Oh, you've never heard somebody's voice change quicker than you could count to 2 when you know you've been being bamboozled. But I have no problem. He didn't know that I was the type of person that would call you on your shit in 2.5 seconds. I don't car negotiate. I'll look dead at you and tell you what you're doing and that you're not going to do it to me and walk the fuck away. A lot of people don't like me for that. And I don't care. That's great. Because a lot of people respect me and do like me because of it. It's me being stern in my ways. So this whole thing has just been me on a tangent. I talk, I tangent, I rant, I go from here, I go from there, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. You know, some people can't follow, some people can. And, you know, if you want to look at a more set together video, you'll just have to go through some of mine. Some are tangents, some are specific. I'm not going to just not be me. That was a double negative. But we're going to leave it. Anyway, I'm going to just be me. You don't have to like it. You don't have to resonate. You don't have to watch it. And then I had here at the end where I had people playing with my world and this whole 8 months of homelessness and fire and this and that and bad relationship decide to insert themselves and cause more drama into my life. They tried to take somebody who was down, all the way down, out of their own anger and spite. Well, I'm still standing. You won't take me down. I'm not after anybody. But I'm going to repeat the same things that should have reached ears already. When any lie you can tell on me is worse than the truth that you have, sit down and shut up. Because I don't care about lies. And my truths are out there. And if you want them, I'll probably give them to you. More than you ever wanted to hear, unfortunately, because that's just me. I tell too much. So I've been told. You know? Which is, you know, is that tact? Is that skill? Is that intentional? It's a part of my personality. You'll never fucking know, will you? But am I using that to distract you? Do I go on tangents? Who knows? But the reality of it is, I don't dislike that about me. You're not going to like everybody in this world. You're just going to have to move along. You don't have to hate on them and destroy them because you don't like them if they're doing no harm to the world or to, you know, I do believe in going up against evil and bad deeds. I do believe in speaking out, which you'll be hearing a lot of this year from me. And ranging from the house fire experience, because I know I'm small potatoes, I guess, in comparison to all of the house fires out in California that happen in mass abundance. Because that's a lot. But no, not a small tragedy is not less than a big tragedy. It's still a tragedy. You can't compare suffering and pain. So here's what I do know. I can share my experience and let those who haven't experienced know how hard this is, know what I went through, or someone going through it know that, oh God, this sucks, and she got through it. Because there will be moments, you know, of despair, of thinking you're not going to make it, knowing that maybe for you there is nobody, and that you just have to seek out other communities and other people, and that's eventually what happened. started seeking answers, and I found answers in the most surprising of places, which is another story that I can't wait to tell. But it's not for everyone, so I'll put that on another video. It did enlighten me to some purposes and some things that I didn't see. And today, I just have to say, did you hear that? That's a sigh of relief. It's beautifully snowing. Ice maker. Yeah, I went after and retrieved that too. It's just a matter of holding on, having the faith of a mustard seed, and it doesn't have to be a man in the sky. It can be, whatever you want to put that faith in. Put it somewhere, even if it's just in yourself. Because I never believed that we're separate from the energy that you guys envision as a gray-haired man. And I keep saying that because, like I said, I've taught my daughter differently, and she come up at me and said, well, I said, Hannah, you know how I've taught you. You know what I mean, right? Of course you knew what I meant. Which is great. This is just great. I just love it. There's nothing better than knowing that you are connected in an energy that includes all. You're not separate from the energy. Now, you may be vibrating at a different level than others, in which case you'll find in your life that you'll be leaving, I guess, timelines would be a way people would call that. And I know they think that as quantum jumping, or you're going to see something magical. It simply means that you're riding here on this vibration. Your life's going this way while this person just refuses to rise. And sometimes you just got to cross paths. You're still on the 3D plane, but you're vibrating differently and your life's going differently. That's kind of, it's what ascension is to a certain degree. Leveling up, getting above where you were, or you can just stay in misery. You could stay in hell school. That's what I call Earth, hell school. I think Earth is actually what you call hell. And in my other weird beliefs, I'm kidding, I love to do that with people. I do believe it's an Earth school to teach. We're here to learn. We're here to endure some bad things. It's just a duality type thing. And I look back at all of this, and I'll continue to look back at all of this. Even the abusive relationship I just got out of, and people tried to get me to kill myself. I now can at least have a testimony to speak to that experience and help others. I now know that I can dig down deep and survive whatever anybody throws my way. Again, I've had a lot thrown my way, and the burning of the house in a bad relationship is only the tippy toe. And I can also sit here and show you, you don't have to be the saint of the family. You can be the black sheep and still rise. You don't have to have everyone's support. It's nice. It would have been lovely. But guess what? It's not always the case. Sometimes you're scapegoated. Sometimes you're judged unfairly. And sometimes you're cast aside unfairly. These are all lessons. That's all they are. It's a lesson on your way to self-love. And that's where peace lies. Everybody wants peace. Everybody wants joy. It resides in self-love. And sometimes things around us have to be destroyed so we can feel that and get there. And I know I've preached too long on this. I'll have to re-edit, I'm sure. I really just wanted to share and talk about the phenomenal experience that I've been through. People have just tried to break me left and right. It's like I remember Nolan singing this song, "Tied to the Whipping Post." Let's see if I still have that video. He posted it. I saved it one day. I'll have to share it. And that's how I felt. I've been tied to the whipping post. Anyway, and he was in a moment of being torn between people when he was having this. I know because I spoke to him at the time. I won't give you the narrative of what's going on there. That's long. I would say that's long gone, but no, that's for another time. Because there's a lot of stories there about him to still be told. By many people, not just one. Every one of us knew a different side of Nolan, but every one of us also knew the same side. There were certain traits about him that he just showed everyone, and I appreciate that as someone who's known him his whole life. And the body may not be here, but the spirit is. I'll never, Nolan Nil will never not. What is with the double negatives? Will not ever be. It's early. I have to have coffee. I haven't had coffee, yet. But Nolan Nil will always be a part of us all. He lives in me so deep. There you go, Mr. Neil. There's your perverse joke. That's so him. Yeah. How do I rephrase that? Oh, God. There is a part of our souls, a part of who we are, that man touched and changed forever in each one of us, in different ways, and in many good ways. Bad ways, too. We've had our bad moments with him. I think that's just with everybody. And also we know his story, so we know of those kinds of bad moments. And those are not the ones I'm talking about. I had this man's whole lifetime with me. I was privileged to bear witness. And that's something that people take for granted. Sometimes in life, sometimes you're just there to bear witness. And there is no greater privilege to bear witness to someone else's testimony, to someone else's life, and to someone else's story. That and raising a human being into an adult, those are the two most important things in my mind sometimes. The value of witnessing someone's life and the importance of raising young ones to be viable. And I say viable on reasons. Adult. So that we have a good functioning society. And we felt there a lot. In extreme, it seems, as I look around lately. Anyhow, I have talked and talked to have to probably redo this to share, or I'll just post an hour-long video. You want to sit here and have discussions and rants and talks with me? It's fine. Maybe I'll post it in podcast forum so I can just sit here and talk to you guys. I think that might be the best way to go about that, because I go on tangents. I like to talk. The subject matter is going to be more on the conversation base. So I'm going to touch here, 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 and here. It's not for everybody. So I'm thinking the best way to do that is to record YouTube and podcast. So you're getting to watch me mull over the process if I post this. So I guess that'll be the next step. Figuring out where to go, what I want that to look like. I kind of have an idea because I've been working on some things with a friend, imagery-wise. Anyhow, and I thought I had a great one, but he did it even better. So, like, we have to roll with his idea. It's too fucking cool if I can pull it off. Yeah, I'm excited for the first time after being displaced and losing everything and being berated and being torn apart by others that wanted to destroy me for reasons that I will share later too. I have no shame about what happened. I have no shame about how things happened there too, because I know everybody's curious about that one little snippet of how I ended up in this fucked up relationship and all the fucked up shit that went on there when in Miranda's story of fuckery. Y'all are focused on that. And I've got so much more to tell. And this doesn't teach you anything. This was an experience added on to experiences. So, don't get knickers in a wad when I start talking about my experiences. You'll never know who I'm talking about anyway. One, I don't talk names unless it's of good or my daughter. I don't post my personal life on social media, so most of y'all don't know who I interact with on a regular basis or even who I'm dating. There's a lot of things that people think they know me and they know nothing about, and I smile pretty. Hannah gets a kick out of it too. A lot of things I don't share. You'd be surprised to know, even if you've known me for 10 years. She shocked the hell out of somebody the other day, telling them something that they didn't know. Not a bad thing, just something that they didn't know. So yeah, I'm a private person. You won't know anything more than I choose to share. Or if you were in my life and part of it, then you've got your narrative. Not my experience, not how I feel, but you've got your narrative on it. That you can have. I will let anybody have their narratives on experiences. However, we are done with the invalidation of what I really went through. And that's been my biggest problem and why I refuse to stop talking about it, because I refuse to be invalidated. I refuse for someone to tell me from 0 to now, this didn't happen that way. And that's been happening to me since I was a child. I have been more gaslit than one human being on the planet. I'm pretty sure I came out being gaslit with a microphone in my mouth. Yep, born on a podium. Ready to go through hell and yell it to the top of the world. Yeah, that's why my throat chakra gets attacked so much. And also, so many other reasons. Immune system, stuff like that. But the thing is, if you can get yourself in a better state of mind and a better way of living and around people who treat you right, even if you have an illness, you're going to thrive. If you have an illness, or be it mental, physical, whatever, and you're around people that don't understand it, don't care about it, and are bringing you down and hurting you in the process and making what you're dealing with already worse, you're not going to get any better. Nor do they want you to. You getting better sometimes will show them where they have not in their life. And people don't want to see that. It's a sad truth that even your closest loved ones will not want to see you rise unless they view it as a reflection of themselves. If they view it as a reflection of what they couldn't accomplish or making them feel less than in their life because you're doing something good and they're seeing that they couldn't fulfill their dreams, That's why most friends and family will smile pretty to you, but they're not really there to support you. It comes in pot shots and backhanded comments, and then it comes in other extremes too, all the way from some of the things I've experienced in my home, which is far from the pettiness that I'm actually speaking of. I'm small potatoing it to try to, cut the video. So yeah, all I really have to say is hang in there. You will find peace. You will eventually get a good night's sleep. You'll feel love again for yourself and for others. If you don't pick that business back up, you'll find another one. Be it someplace you worked, one you were creating. If you don't have a place to live, keep that mustard seed. Believe, manifest. It will come to you. It will come to you. I do believe that. But you can't just sit and manifest. Let me just be clear. You have to work together. You can't just think something into existence. What did I hear? This is a quote from Rachel Hollis. That's always stuck with me. A dream is nothing more than a goal with your work boots on. That's all. I think that's a good place to end it. Yeah. So, anybody struggling, I wish you love, light, and peace, and the ability to hang in there.